be in the big dance, but they can still play their way into a top 4 seed for the SEC championship next week in Nashville. Great to be courtside alongside Brendan Manzer. The Tigers have been an absolute load to handle for teams all around the SEC this season. Why specifically are they a big problem for the Oklahoma team they'll see tonight?
Chad, they are elite offensively, and it's collective because you have multiple shooters out on the perimeter that space you. They're terrific at taking care of the basketball. They don't turn it over much, so they don't have empty possessions. And you have versatility on the interior that is really difficult to match up with. Other than that, they're simple to guard.
Versatility on the interior is in the spotlight tonight. We could go with the guards, but you've got the big men that you want to focus on.
Well, obviously, Mark Mitchell is a tremendous offensive talent that can play make from his position. But that makes Sam Godwin that much more important for Oklahoma tonight. You're going to see him isolated on Mitchell a lot. Porter Moser wants a very good defensive performance out of him, which would include staying out of foul trouble, which Godwin at times can get in. They really need him on the floor to match up with Mitchell and try to neutralize him just a little bit here tonight in Norman.
Pat Adams into the center court jump circle to toss it up. He's joined by Byron Jarrett and Brian Dorsey as our officials, and the Tigers will get the first touch in this one. This is Anthony Robinson II. What strides he has made as a sophomore under Coach Dennis Gates this year. Push Robinson away from the floor. He'll step back and fire. No good. Contested rebound that's picked up by Duke Miles. Sooners push it to Bryson Godine.
And these Oklahoma guards today offensively in the half court. They're going to have tremendous recognition. Missouri's going to change defenses on a regular basis.
Well, a Sam Godwin dribble drive starts the game. Is that what you had in mind?
Hey, anything at the rim is great. And Godwin, as we mentioned, he's been really good offensively the last 3. Averaged 12 points in that stretch. 15 of 16 from the floor, and you can see why on Bunnies act that in that last possession.
Saw the Missouri starting 5. Their leading scorer, Caleb Grill, comes off the bench. Anthony Robinson out there with a big-time sophomore season. Mark Mitchell, you mentioned him, Brendan. He's averaging 20 a game in his last 6.
That transfer from Duke has really been tremendous, obviously, on the floor. But it was cool to talk to Coach Gates today, and him talking about Mitchell coming in, been humble from day one. Obviously understands his strengths, but also understands and appreciates what his teammates can do, and it's really fit nicely. These guys play like a team that's been together for more than just a season.
The Oklahoma lineup, Jalen Moore's been battling some knee tendonitis, but he'll give it a go, and Sam Godwin's got the first 2 buckets of the night.
Back-to-back opportunities for Godwin where he's been able to get over that right shoulder being left-handed. Got to take that away from him.
Trending upward has been Sam Godwin. He's now 17 of his last 18 from the field in his last 3 games. Under the bucket, open look here for Mitchell. He'll score it, and a foul. To the foul line is going to go the versatile Mark Mitchell. Sam Godwin picks up his first foul.
Now look right here. Weak side guard or perimeter play. That's Moore a little bit late. See Mitchell, good hands, strong hands right there. And just such a tremendous ability to create contact, finish through it, obviously at 6'9", 230. You know, it's interesting. He's had 5 games this year where he's been to the line 12 times or more. And this is from a interior play.
Mitchell had a career-high 25 in the first meeting between these teams. There's Jeremiah Fears escaping the pressure and reversing one in.
You know, Porter Moser said today, we asked, what do you need Fears to do tonight? And he said, continue to what he's been doing here the last handful of games. He's letting it come to him, and he's best when he's a playmaker. And obviously, you want your point guard to take care of it. Missouri's going to throw a lot of things again at him here tonight and try to get him confused.
Tamar Bates misses the 3. Rebound raked away by Jalen Moore and tied up. A held ball with Trent Pierce. Possession will go the other way. Sooner head coach Porter Moser, he said, loves the way his team has responded every time, and big on the phrase, fall 7, rise 8. That means you fall down 7 times, you got to rise up 8. So many close misses, Brendan. 5 losses by 4 points or less in SEC play. 4 of those have happened at home. He said it's just been that last stop that they've not been able to find a way to get yet.
Yeah, and there's been some excellent individual plays made offensively against them, but the bottom line is you have to get stops down the stretch. You cannot continue to try to outscore people. It's a big week for them. I mean, it goes without saying. This is huge tonight on the outside looking in terms of the NCAA tournament selection Sunday, according to Joey Brackets. First 4 out, as you mentioned, Chad, at the tip. But the beauty, when you play in a league of this magnitude, you're always going to have opportunities for tremendous wins. For example, obviously this would be a quad 1 against Missouri. You look ahead to Texas on Saturday, so too would that be a quad 1.
And then your opening ground game in Nashville.
Exactly.
Another potential for a quad 1. Porter Moser did not tell us that the offense was going to funnel through Sam Godwin tonight. But so far, he's been the man for Oklahoma. Godwin's got 6 of the 8. Inside once again, Mitchell had a mismatch with Gedine, but passes it out, and unselfishly Perkins buries it.
That's Mitchell right there. That's Mitchell in a nutshell. Great ball movement. He gets it on the block and calmly gets out of that double team to a shooter who's squared up to a 3-point shot.
This is Fears. Tough matchup for him. Mitchell's a very physical, rugged defender. Duke Miles into Godwin again. And Sam Godwin has made 4 of the first 5 Sooner chances tonight.
Right there, able to get penetration that made Gray rotate over, and then that frees Godwin on that backside.
Sam Godwin, we mentioned he's been on the upswing. He's averaging 12 points and 6 rebounds over this 4-game stretch. Josh Gray, the 7-footer in there. This is a big, deep Missouri ball club. They run Bates off the 3-point line. He lost it to Jalen Moore. Hit ahead for Fears, and he will finish.
Well, excellent rotation right there from Oklahoma. Bates looked like he had the seam, and the help prevented or was able to create that turnover.
6-point Sooner advantage. Oklahoma switching out top on these Missouri guards as Mitchell decks it. This is Tony Perkins, the grad student, with the fall away. It was a tough shot. Oklahoma, these transfer guards and Miles and Gedine were factored in so heavily for Porter Moser. Shot clock at 15. Godwin, as Grill tried to strip it from him. Gedine, that's a 2 from the corner that rims out. And a holding foul, I believe, is going to be on Caleb Grill underneath, grabbing a hold of Sam Godwin. Some confidence. Sam Godwin got Oklahoma to a good start, and Jeremiah Fears is factored in for it.
Well, Chad, you're right. Good start from Oklahoma. A little DCO, defense creates some offense. Jeremiah Fears right here with the lay-in, but a long way to go in this one.
Back on February 12th in Columbia, the Tigers held Oklahoma to the fewest points Missouri has given up in an SEC game since Dennis Gates arrived in Columbia. What was so good for the Tigers in this victory, Brendan?
Defense end of the floor was outstanding. Oklahoma shot 31% in the game, but Missouri kept everything in front, basically made Oklahoma a jump shooting team. They took 22 threes, only made 5. Their help and recover was great, kept them out of the paint. Obviously, Mark Mitchell was terrific. That's why we pointed out, I mean, he's terrific every night, but especially for Oklahoma, potential big challenge for them defensively. But if you look at the start for the Sooners, you know, what's positive is 10 of their 12 points, Chad, so far early in this game have come from the paint. So obviously that's initiative by Porter Moser. We've seen Sam Godwin have some success, but there'll be some adjustments certainly coming out of this under 16 timeout for Missouri defensively.
Yeah, the Tigers outscored the Sooners by 16 in the paint in the meeting up in Columbia. Wanting to shoot here as Duke Miles will inbound it. Boards are 5-0 Oklahoma. Missouri does not have a rebound yet. Grill guarding Jeremiah Fears. Mohamed Wagee is in for Oklahoma. He's trying to set the screen. Fierce trying to find him, and the whistle from the baseline referee Pat Adams nets a foul against whom? There is the third-year head coach of the Tigers, Dennis Gates, took the Tigers to the NCAA tournament 2 seasons ago for the first time in 13 years. Then injuries. I mean, they had everything you could possibly imagine go wrong last year in going 0-18, but maybe a bit of a blessing in disguise because they have 4 of their top 5 scorers on this roster were on that roster, Brendan. Then you get the transfer portal additions, and they're just connected.
Well, if you know anything about Dennis Gates, you know, to me what was impressive as you see Caleb Grill there is he didn't lose them at any time. You're playing in this tough league, you're in games, you know, you're without multiple key personnel. But I think it's positivity, his vision of the big picture, and they're being rewarded this year. They've been absolutely unbelievable, and it's a great story, the turnaround that they have had in college basketball.
With screen and roll action, a 10-3-1 for Oklahoma. They've got their largest lead at 14-6. By the way, Gray just picked up his second foul, so that interior depth will be tested a bit for the Tigers. Mitchell right around Wagee and lays that one up and in.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup from Wagee. If you're Oklahoma, your best opportunity there is Moore and also Sam Godwin matched up with Mitchell.
Right idea for Fears there, just slipped through the hands of Mohamed Wagee. That's the first Oklahoma turnover of the night.
And Missouri will turn you over, as you will know, Chad. But what's an unbelievable statistic to me is their ratio of live ball turnovers. In other words, steals for every turnover that they produce. Like 3/4 of them. That's such a high number. As you see Mitchell knock that down.
Mitchell just 23% from three-point range. That's his 12th made triple of the year. Jalen Moore's first real attempt just couldn't quite close the deal. Quick advancement. It's what the Tigers do well. Cruz in and out on his 3 ball. And the other way to the Sooners as that was touched last by Trent Pierce. Sam Godwin returns, replacing Mohamed Wagee. Sam Godwin off to a wonderful start for Oklahoma. He's got 8 points. Porter Moser able to move Jeremiah Fierce off the ball quite a bit with Duke Miles out there, Brendan. Here's Bryson Godine. And Oklahoma making such a concerted effort to get into the paint.
They are. And Godine, obviously somebody, the way he shoots it from 3, you have to contest and get to him on the 3-point line, but you can't let him drive like that too easy.
Warwick cashes in from downtown. So Missouri's starting to heat up from behind the arc.
And so you can already see, right, the challenge is Missouri offensive. I mean, you can't key anywhere. Literally 5, 6, Chad, that can go off for 20 on you.
It's so tough because there are 2 teams in the country who average 8 or more made threes per game and 18 or more made free throws. It's Missouri and Alabama.
And notice Grill right there. That's the one thing that you see that's a little bit different than in years past. I mean, he's an elite shooter, but he puts it on the floor enough now you have to respect him. He's been driving to contact much more in his 6th year. And that's opened up his game offensively, but it's also allowed his teammates opportunities, like you saw on that drive and kick right there.
Warwick physically able to absorb some contact and finish it.
And that's one of the concerns tonight of many with the Tigers for Porter Moser. Missouri's guards are physical at both ends. Much bigger, broader overall than the perimeter of Oklahoma.
Tigers started 0 for 3. They've made 4 of their last 5. This is a 10-2 run. There's Jalen Moore. He's missed a couple from in tight. And the rebound torn out by Pierce. Marquez Warwick guarded by Bryson Godine. Here's Grill. Quick catch and shoot. And that one is down.
That is so good.
Hard to guard that one.
Yeah, and Godwin thinks he is there. And with most people in the country, he was. But Grill gets it off so quick. His footwork is outstanding.
Only plays about 25 minutes per game, but 8 games of 20 plus for Grill. Moore, chest bump, couldn't finish, got it back, and finishes the retrieval. Jalen Moore looks pretty good. Saw him go through shoot around today, Brendan, get some extra shots up, so that knee seems okay so far.
Yeah, and it's, he's missed a couple of bunnies, but I think it's a good sign that he's continued to take advantage when it's there off the bounce. Says he's feeling confident about that knee.
Jalen Moore on a cranky knee can elevate higher than most in the country can with two good knees.
Well, speaking of good, probably great, Caleb Grill. That is way too much space. High and soft, elite three-point shooter and a shot maker.
What are we doing today, Coach?
So, today we're going to work on our checking on...
Ooh. Sorry, I heard checking.
A bit of a misunderstanding.
I meant checking on how we could have to do...
Up with it, gotta get P ranked in the country, even though they've switched.
And what makes a tremendous league or the best league is when you have no bottom. I mean, somebody's got to be in the 14th, 15th, and 16th spot.
At 14:02, 25 black shot a shot. We ruled a three-point shot. It's a two-point shot, so 1 point will be taken off from Missouri.
So that was a 3 a few moments ago by Martin Mitchell that they have downgraded, if you will, to a 2. He's getting a breather over there on the bench, off to a great start. Here's another look at that toe on the line.
And Byron Jarrett mentioned that his left toe was on that line.
And out of the timeout, Cruz off the bench, catches and scores in tight, and the Tigers lead 20-18. What a luxury to bring Jacob Cruz. It's his 4th stop on his collegiate journey, but he's a guy that won the Ohio Valley Conference last year. Jalen Moore, and help off the bench the Sooners are getting tonight.
And a lot of easy looks. Surprises me a little bit here early for both teams in the paint. Now, this type of game, Chad, who does it favor? There's no question it favors Missouri.
Grill circles off the screen, missed that one. Look at Pierce use his length to go up over the top. And here's Gadian the other way. Boy, what a start for Sam Godwin after that lay-in. He's the first to reach double figures tonight with 10 points. Sam Godwin now double figures, 3 of his last 4. Dayton Forsythe. Kick out 3 ball. Elvis knocks that one home.
I'll tell you what, the growth that Forsythe has had as a freshman has been exponential. And obviously coming off his best game of his career in Oxford with 25 points the other day, Chad. But as Porter Moser said today, he really gets to a spot. Look how slow that play was to him. A lot of freshmen would have sped up too much.
Elvis, quick bounce ahead for Bryson Gadian. There's Godwin rolling to the rim one more time. He's got a dozen now.
Well, Missouri's going to have to make an adjustment. If anything, you're going to have rotation on his roll and meet him up the lane. He's been allowed to roll. Sometimes he's rejected it. Sometimes it's been off the ball screen.
Traveling call will be whistled against Marcus Allen. Oklahoma with a 7-0 run to retake 5-point advantage.
But it's been way too easy for Godwin. It reminds me a little bit in December when he got off to that great start against Oklahoma State. I mean, just right there. That's a roll. You got to get there quicker if you're Cruz. Oklahoma has certainly found something right there with Godwin so far.
St. Godwin is a great story. Former walk-on, transferred from Wofford, and has been a scholarship player now for a couple of years, celebrating his senior night. He's in graduate school at Oklahoma, but from just up the road, Southmore High School in South Oklahoma City. Elvis trying to go to work against Anthony Robinson. Into the arms of Fierce. It's great handles. Glenn Taylor Jr. has entered. He lost it on the way up, and it's out of bounds off of Muhammad Wegi. That's 3 Oklahoma turnovers.
Well, again, you don't like that empty possession if you're Coach Moser, but it's much better than those live ball turnovers where Missouri is so terrific at pushing quickly and making something happen in offensive transition.
Mitchell driving it in on Wegi, and down he goes, an offensive foul. Well, that's credible defense out on the floor, you would have to say, from Muhammad Wegi. And Mitchell picks up his first.
And here's why it was great. I mean, that's a tough assignment from Waggy. Now remember, it was an earlier possession in the half where Mitchell just flew right by him. In that case, he had a cushion. Not only does he have a cushion right here, but he makes him go to that right side. Also helping was Elvis defensively digging down on Mitchell, but a great job of Waggy right there.
Robinson really in the hip pocket of Elvis right now. And Waggy tried to give him a screen on that exchange. There will be a foul call. Well, Jalen Moore trying to just stay loose over there, Brendan, on the recumbent bicycle. You know, it might help me get a workout in. I could do that while we broadcast. Probably wouldn't go as well.
Probably did. Probably did that this morning.
No, I've been here at the gym all day with you. So Fears back in. What a matchup with Robinson. A guy who's becoming an elite defender and a guy with great handles in Fears. Another foul. Oklahoma's got a 7-0 run going here, and that's 2 on Robinson now.
Yeah, that's 2 quick ones from Robinson, so that'll get freshman T.O. Barrett from Edmond, Oklahoma, north of 40 minutes north of here. Well, that's big for Oklahoma because Robinson has been absolutely outstanding over the last 5 or 6 ball games. And he's been dominant in many ways.
And now Grill and others left to try to guard Fears. Oh, what a move. Fake spin, drop it home. Handles like Kyrie Irving, Brendan.
Yeah, he just has this tremendous ability as a young player to use tempo and pace to keep defenders off balance.
Look at Mitchell attack. Partially blocked, but a foul call. I think Waggy's going to pick that one up. That's the first on Mohamed Waggy. They actually get that on Fears. And that's Fears first as well.
Well, Waggy right there, I mean, even as a big, when you have a guy offensively with his back to you, low post defense, you still have to move your feet. Especially against a guy like Mitchell has tremendous quickness. And he felt Waggy right there and then just spun and went right by him.
You know, we asked Dennis Gates earlier as Jalen Moore returns, when did you have a feeling that this team was going to be connected? And he said it was a team-building exercise in June when he saw the humility of a guy like Mark Mitchell, who's come from Duke. And then you've got Tamar Bates in from Indiana, you know, a couple of the blue blood programs. But there was no ego. There was no need for shots or anything like that. And that was a good start all the way back in the summer.
Yeah, and you also mentioned the perimeter players, guys returning, like a Caleb Grill, connecting with a Tony Perkins. He said it was almost immediate. Now, what Dennis Gates wouldn't say, because he's humble, is he is great at helping these guys be connected. Does a great job of creating rapport with them individually and then connecting them. Very few coaches have that kind of ability like Dennis Gates.
Sooners have made their last 5 from the field. They'll try it from the foul line with Jalen Moore trying to build upon a 6-point lead when we come back to Norman.
You know, he's progressed so much as an offensive player, you know, known for his defense and rebounding, and that's his bread and butter. But when you get this, it's gravy. That's obviously the biggest reason Oklahoma has a 6-point lead. And you look at the game at Ole Miss, they had 32 points in the paint. They have 22 against the Tigers here tonight.
They had 24 points in the paint the entire first meeting with Missouri, and they got 22 tonight. Jalen Moore knocks down that foul shot. Jalen Moore celebrating with his teammates tonight on their senior night. He's had such a good year. And this foul line's been a big part of it. He has made the 3rd most free throws in the SEC. In fact, we got the top 3 free throw makers in the league in this game tonight. So we could be at the line a little bit, which I know you like.
Yeah. Since I went to the line so much in my career.
It's a foul from behind. A wrestling match. Duke Miles trying to wrangle that one from Perkins.
Yeah, and for Oklahoma, you know, the bulk of their free throw attempts, you know, it's more in Fears. Fears for a freshman, not afraid to drive it in there. In fact, he loves the contact part of it. You can see that in early November. The thing that's so difficult when you play in Missouri, it's, you know, the ringleader at the line is Mitchell, but they do it collectively. I mean, everybody has the ability to drive it.
There's T.O. Bennett, as you said, from just up the road, Edmond North High School with his first field goal. Got to be ready when called upon, but that points out the depth of this roster.
Yeah, there are other rosters, major colleges. If Barrett was on it, he would be getting more meaningful minutes. But obviously, Coach Gates has tremendous confidence to put him out there here in the first half tonight.
There's Jalen Moore. They run him off the 3-line. Beautiful spin to score it.
Yeah, and that is the progression of Jalen Moore. Last year was the ability to start knocking down threes. This year, the ability to attack the seam off the bounce.
End-to-end, Bryson Godine for 2 more, and the Sooners have run out to a 10-point lead. Their largest of the night. Nice backdoor dive there. Bates cashes in off a good find from Mitchell.
Mitchell, when he's up top there, does such a great job of facing up and surveying what opportunities are there.
Duke Miles, they run him off the 3-point line. It's a barrage of paint points for the Sooners.
Missouri right now, we talked about how good they were defensively in Columbia, keeping things in front there on the catch on the perimeter. And tonight, they have not been as focused yet defensively.
Brill can't get free from Moore. Now he will step back and fire. That's off. Oklahoma 10-point lead as Fears attacks. Tough floater, banks it home. He's got all the tricks in the bag, and he's pulled out several tonight. 8 for Jeremiah Fears. So the Tigers taking a timeout to try to stop this spurt. Oklahoma, Brendan, has made its last 9 from the field.
Well, they're doing a great job of just taking what's given. And right now, it's a lane to the basket. And Barrett cuts him off just enough where Fears has to pull up. But we talked about his poise. And for a young player, how slow the game is to Fears. Portermozo, as we mentioned, talked about Chad, him letting the game come to him. He certainly has so far here tonight.
Yeah, Dennis Gates had praise for Jeremiah Fears today. He said, remember, he's supposed to be at Men's Warehouse picking out a tuxedo for his high school prom. We said that would make your life a lot easier, wouldn't it? But Jeremiah Fears, Brendan, he came out onto the national stage, was excellent for Oklahoma. Those big wins they had over Arizona and Louisville in the Bahamas. And then his big breakout was that 4-point play to win the game against Michigan in the Jumpman. Oklahoma beat Michigan. They're a number 2 seed projected by Joe Lunardi in the NCAA tournament.
Well, it's a body of work. And they're in a unrelenting lead. But we all know, I mean, you have to win games at some point. And obviously, Oklahoma, Chad, they're running out of real estate. And this is, and we don't have to tell anybody watching, listening, or halfway in the know, they have to win this game tonight and keep that alive. And are they one of the top 68 teams in the country? Absolutely. But at some point you got to put some W's in. So far, so good tonight if you're Oklahoma.
The foul's on Jalen Moore, and that is his first. That one rims out of the corner for Marquez Warwick. Fears whips this one ahead. Miles trying to find a little real estate. Jalen Moore, left-handed attack. Tried to squirt through Mitchell and couldn't do it. This is out of bounds off of Sam Godwin, who's a little shaken as he gets up at the end of this play. Honor Boateng, also a little slow to get up with the Tigers, but Oklahoma really worried about their senior Sam Godwin. A dozen points for Godwin. Looks like he's okay. He's perfect from the field tonight. He's going to have to come out. He's pointing to the bench, and Oklahoma going to go a little bit smaller as they'll replace him with Kobe Elvis. Boateng just kind of like landed on the back of that right leg.
That's a big body coming down on that knee. Well, hopefully he's okay.
Seth Tisdale, the Oklahoma trainer, will have a look And Sam Godwin. So how does Oklahoma switch things up if Sam Godwin is unavailable, Brendan? Who does that mean more minutes for, any kinds of adjustments?
Well, I mean, what you have right now is essentially more at the 5, which you can do because that's what Mitchell is for Mizzou right now.
Warwick off the mark. Playing ping pong with that ball beneath the bucket, and I think that Mitchell either touched it out of bounds or was standing out of bounds when he grabbed it, so it'll go to Oklahoma. 5:19 left in the first half. Oklahoma's made 9 of its last 10. Missouri's largest lead 2. Oklahoma's largest lead is this one they have right now. Here's just kind of probing the top. Good eye, and the release strong. And it volleys into the lap of Tamar Bates. Barrett crosses over Fears, blows by and reverses one up and in.
Boy,
he says you're not the only talented freshman.
Yeah, and you're not the only one that can freeze a defender, change pace, and have the blow by. I mean, that was big time right there. He flew right by Fears.
That one poked away. A hand in by Boateng. Barrett leads Boateng, and he's fouled. So a couple of free throws. This is what you said. Missouri's so good at they average about 10 steals per game.
They're great at it. I mean, they have great hands, quickness, and then they change ends so fast. Look at that right there. Fears thought he was going to give it up. The crossover, strong finish from Barrett. Here's another look. And then I tell you what else, to me, is just as good. That break right there. He slowed up, allowed his teammate and Boateng to hit that lane, made a bounce pass and a simple play. So you make an elite play offensively, you make a simple play. Coaches love that, especially if you're a young freshman.
You talk about some youth out here. Boateng and Barrett, a couple of freshmen on the floor for Dennis Gates in critical moments. Oklahoma out there with 2 freshmen as well in Forsythe and Fears.
Isn't that against the rules these days to play freshmen at this level?
It is very anti-portal, shall we say. Then Taylor Jr. also back in. He'll replace Kobe Elvis for Oklahoma.
Well, Oklahoma's played really well, and Mizzou, especially defensively, probably not as sharp as Dennis Gates would want. But this also shows you the depth of the Tigers. And I don't think it was just coach beat. Dennis Gates feels like he can go 14, 15 deep when healthy.
Fears online with a 3. His first try from 3 land and his first make. Barrett got a little rub out high. In traffic. Tough shot. Maybe not the one the Tigers want. Aiton Forsythe. A lot more playing time, a lot more production for the Dale, Oklahoma product recently. Fears whips it beneath, and Taylor has an easy one. Tigers fell asleep on the backside. 14-point lead is the largest for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and Fears is not forcing it tonight. It's the smooth 3. It's out front, letting things develop or break down.
Anthony Robinson on the bench with 2 fouls for Missouri. Warwick initiates with T.O. Barrett. 2 to shoot. And that one's strong from Boateng. Muscular rebound by Gray, and he's knocked down. So Gray hits the deck, and the Tigers will be in the bonus when we come back.
Will make the right play, young freshman. Here's a 3 right here, Chad. He has 3 dimes, 5 of 5 from the floor. Made his only 3. He's been terrific, almost perfect tonight. Well, the Tigers got there 35 times 3 weeks ago, most of which was Mark Mitchell going 18 times. And when you play Missouri, to me, it's 3 things. If you want to give yourself a chance, you can't let them get going from long range and get to the foul line. If both those happen, it's done for you. You have to take one away, right? In the game in Columbia, Missouri only made 4 threes, but they only took 12. So their decision-making was great. They got the foul line and got downhill. The third thing you have to do against Missouri is take care of it. because they're so great at taking it to the other end once they turn you over. Oklahoma has done a very good job with only 4. And see what it also does, Chad, is it keeps Missouri from getting and running when you're able to score.
Right.
Because even if they don't get any transition, they are terrific at flattening you out defensively when they can get downhill and push you along the baseline.
Porter Moser upset about that free throw violation on the lane that's going to give Gray another try. We'll see if this one goes any better. Ooh, he cashes in on the opportunity. He's got one white shoe, one black shoe on tonight. He got the right one shuffled up there to the line and buried it like he meant it. 12-point advantage for the Sooners. Now it's interesting, Dennis Gates has elected to play Anthony Robinson, his sophomore guard, with 2 fouls late in this first half. Fears wasn't looking, or I beg your pardon, Godine wasn't looking. Fortunately, Fears was. Godine, high release, strong shot, but Wiggy rebounds it.
Well, he also has Gray in there with 2 fouls.
Forsythe buries the Oklahoma triple. Sooners are 3 of 4 from downtown. What a great close to the season Dayton Forsythe is having. Grill lines another one up from up high. He answers his second made 3.
Now Forsythe, I mean, his transition to this level, like we said earlier, has been absolutely tremendous. But in a different way, the game has become slow to him, and much like Jeremiah Fears.
Did they get this foul on Robinson as well? It is 3 on Robinson.
Well, that's big. There's Forsythe coming off the 25 points at Ole Miss, and then there's Grill. You see his footwork? So he's coming up the floor, and it's usually easier for right-handed shooters to go left to right, to catch in rhythm and shoot square. But you see how his body, before that ball got to him, has already begun to square up to the basket. He had a right-left footwork that allows him to get it off quickly, allows him to shoot it in rhythm.
That is, that is music to your eyes, isn't it?
You know, a lot of, hey, I'll admit, this is an old guy saying this, but everybody gets to shoot threes now. But
an old guy that could shoot it.
Well, it's refreshing to see somebody like Grill and others who are truly pure elite shooters. And it's more than shooting. It's all the preparation that he does prior to the ball getting to him.
So a couple of things here. Now out with 3 fouls goes Robinson. Oklahoma has entered the Missouri native into the game. Luke Northweather hasn't played a whole lot, but he's a 3-point threat when he can get spotted up. 2 minutes left, opening half. Oklahoma by 14. Jeremiah Fears has 13 points and 3 assists. And a wonderful opening half for the Sooner freshman. Crunching screen there set. Fears trying to plow through it. He's going to get called for the foul. There's nothing you can do to move Gray out of the way.
Well,
that's 2 on Fears. Sorry, Brendan.
That's the attention Grill brings. So you have attention from Mark Mitchell for different reasons. He gets those touches in the interior, or he pulls a big away from the basket. Grill draws the attention, obviously, on the perimeter because his reputation shooter. So Fears did a great job in that case. You saw where he was there right on the catch. But you have the handoff. He gets hung up on that screen, which was legal and a good screen. And I mean, once you cut him off at the 3-point line, it's not over. That's, again, I think the transformation and continued growth of Grill offensively we've seen this year.
And Dennis Gates said he's grown a lot as well, just having to watch a season ago. Played only 9 games, sidelined with a wrist injury, got that season back this year, but watched. And also part of him coming off the bench is he can kind of sit over there as a coach for about the first 8 minutes of the game and dissect things.
Well, and then maybe the best part, he's obviously willing to do it. There's a lot of guys that, I mean, he's obviously worthy of starting. That's not important to him. Winning is important to him.
Gray rebounds the Forsythe miss. Tigers can get a little bit closer. Fears over on the bench now after picking up his second.
Now Missouri it needs a couple of positive exchanges here at both ends of the floor. See if they can get this under 10 at half and then go regroup.
Caleb Grill went down inside. He's hobbled as he gets up as Bates misses underneath. We'll keep an eye on Grill. Looks like he's okay getting back on defense. Elvis Can't shake free. And a reset here for Forsyth. Porter Moser will take his use it or lose it timeout. Kind of a late shot clock situation. Sooners a little discombobulated offensively, so why not settle things down? There was Grill a moment ago, Brendan.
Yeah, he did. Is that his left foot? Just got tangled up, Chad? It didn't look like there was any contact. Just kind of slowed up. Looks like he's okay, though.
Just kind of monitor that, maybe see if it tightens up after halftime on Caleb Grill. Grill's got 8 points tonight, a couple of threes made, the Iowa State transfer. So Porter Moser kind of calming things here. Jeremiah Fears not out there offensively to initiate their attack in a late shot clock situation. Where might they go in this spot?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a perfect time to use that timeout. You got a freshman out there in Forsyth. See if they made, you know, this is not an offensive lineup necessarily right here. It's what you're going to probably want to do. I mean, number one, you got to see what Missouri's in man or zone. But you keep an eye on good eye. Number two for Oklahoma in that corner against this zone.
North weather. 5 to shoot. Elvis backs away against Grill. Gonna have to get one up, and it's down. Kobe Elvis has got 2 made threes in the first half. The Sooners have made 4 of 7.
Well, Missouri can certainly relate. When things are going good offensively, everybody feels it. Everybody has confidence.
50 to 35, Oklahoma. Largest lead for the Sooners, and a foul inside. Tigers exploiting Gray's size advantage on North weather. Porter Moser just having a chat there with Brian Dorsey. Is
that what that is, Chad?
Just a chat. Yeah. Mid-game chat conversation.
He felt like North weather held his ground, but Gray is so clever, physical, patient right there. And again, a terrific feel of when to attack.
Another one of those guys who is a team player, began at LSU, then South Carolina for 3 seasons, 5th-year player, his first season with Dennis Gates and the Tigers. Quiets the crowd at the Lloyd Noble Center. No foul trouble with the guards both ways.
You know, and if you get point production out of Gray, to me that is just great. But if you watch in March in Missouri, when they put it together, they are a Final Four type of team. And I don't even think they've really hit their ceiling. But Gray is a very important piece for that run because of his rebounding and defense.
Shot clock is off to close it out. Missouri's made 7 of 10 from the foul line. That's kind of how they've stayed within striking distance. Gray has stepped up there and knocked some down. Tigers extend the D. Gadian is run off the 3-point line. His reverse partially blocked in there by Tamar Bates. A look at it here from midcourt. Warwick will get one away. And just off the mark. Oklahoma looking like a team that needs a win. They have hung a half 100 in the first half against a Missouri team that held them to just 31% from the field in their meeting in Columbia. Oklahoma on senior night, trying to send the SEC teams in the big dance if it were to start today. It will not, but the who have transferred almost 70.
You have 30 paint. It only takes up a 2-point production.
I've learned.
Injured in the first half. He is not on the floor for Oklahoma is Godwin. He had a great first half, but it's Mohamed Wagee who starts. Godwin had a dozen in the first half.
Boy, you really hope it's nothing serious with Godwin.
Grill launches to start things, and a foul underneath. Gray looked like he was going to come up with possession, and I think Mohamed Wagee will pick up that foul. That's 2 on Wagee. Beg your pardon, they got Duke Miles for his second.
Chad, I'm not worried about Mizzou offensively. I mean, nobody should be. whoever they have out there, they will score enough points. It's, do they take care of it, and do they get stops down at this end in the half court?
Instead, it's Oklahoma getting a steal and a score from Fears, and he's got 15. Quick whistle, and Duke Miles has picked up his third personal. A little foul trouble now mounting. Not the kind of cheap one you want to pick up. And as a result, Porter Moser goes to the bench quickly, sending in Kobe Elvis. Oklahoma, Brendan, they're interesting. They have 6 different players who have had a game of 25 points or more. It's just finding the guys to get stops defensively, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, they play differently than Missouri, but I think what needs to get better is certainly similar. They've shot 53% or better the last 3 games coming in. So they're efficient enough on the offensive end.
That's a tough floater by Caleb Grill, sliding in the back door. Elvis sidestep for 3. And the rebound volleys out top to Bates. This is Tony Perkins. He'll start here in the second half. The Iowa transfer. And just thrown away. That is 7 Missouri turnovers, which for them is a relatively high number for this point in the game. But once again, they've been without Anthony Robinson a good deal of this first half, or much of the first half, and to start the second.
Well, they've just been so good at ball security. And if you've never watched them and you look at their numbers, statistically getting to the foul line, the way they shoot it from 3, their assist to turnover ratio, you know, it tells you they're a connected team. Now, tonight they've been a little bit off, but credit Oklahoma. They play well both ends of the floor.
And Jalen Moore is starting to heat up for the Sooners. Moore's first made 3. He's got 9 points.
Yeah, and both coaches would have talked at halftime about the first 4 or 5 minutes setting the tone.
Wrestling match underneath the bucket between Jalen Moore and Mark Mitchell, and that, I believe, is going to be 3. It is on Jalen Moore, and so Glenn Taylor Jr. emerges.
Yeah, that's a good call, because you could see on that weak side as Moore was trying to block off. I think we're going to see it right here. See 14. Yeah, that's a hold. You put your backside into him, you're good. You put your hands on him like Moore did, you pick up your 3rd. So now Oklahoma in a little bit of a spot. Godwin, we have not seen him return here the second half with that potential knee injury in the first, and now Jalen Moore has 3.
And we talked to Porter Moser about Jalen Moore because, you know, he had kind of the tendonitis he was battling. If he's unable to play that much, who has to step up? Instead of the knee, it's foul trouble now. And Porter Moser's answer was probably Glenn Taylor Jr., who's out there.
Yeah, and one positive, obviously, if you're Porter Moser, you have a 16-point lead, a little bit of a cushion, so you can manage that much better. Your sense of urgency is not as great with Moore over there with 3.
Into the lineup is Jacob Cruz. He'll stop and pop right into the arms of Gray, who dunks that one home, but the whistle came before, and it'll be 2 free throws for Gray. He is a giant human being, Brendan. I mean, Muhammad Wagee is tall and a big guy, and Gray's probably got 20 pounds on him. That foul is on Wagee, his second personal. And that becomes a situation for Oklahoma. If Godwin can't go, can Wagee avoid fouls and stay in it? And Wagee's got experience at this level. He's an Alabama transfer, was on their Final 14 for Nate Oates. Gray shaking his hands. He was perfect at the line prior to that, 4 for 4. He will line up one more. Didn't play against Arkansas, but he leads this team in rebounding in conference play.
Yeah, his per 40 numbers are off the charts. He's playing about 16 minutes a game, getting 5.5+ boards. He's a really, I know I said this in the first half, important piece for their longevity. Any run they make, he's going to be right in the middle of it.
And Gray is out the first time tonight. We've seen Aiden Shaw. Dennis Gates was telling us that he's gotten cleared now, and this team's 14 deep. They play 14 guys now. McGee had it stripped, but it'll be a reach-in foul against Tamar Bates. First on Bates. Watch the foul situation in this game for many reasons.
There's the roll from Wagee. No question right there. Bates reaches in. And I like, you know, Wagee is not more or what we've seen out of Godwin as of late offensively. But that's been there virtually the whole night when those bigs have rolled straight to that rim.
Porter Moser having to move the chess pieces on the board a little bit with Godwin's injury and Jalen Moore in foul trouble. Into the hands of Fears. Having a very good night. Perfect from the field and the foul line. 15 points. Jeremiah Fears. Attack mode against Cruz all the way to the window, but missed. McGee up with it and in. That's a bonus basket for Oklahoma.
Well, that's a late shot clock situation. You know, Fears ended up with Cruz on it. Cruz has got to back out. He doesn't need to defend him 40 feet from the basket.
Bates, not this time. And Fears got tripped up. He went to the deck quickly and hard. It looks to be okay. Foul call against the Tigers underneath. This is the largest lead for Oklahoma, by the way. The foul was on Perkins, his first. Missouri picking up a little full court once again. And Honor Boateng returns for Dennis Gates. Just having a little conversation, learning process with Aiden Shaw over there.
One thing to keep in mind, and this picking up full court pressure, traps, run and jump, etc., is in Missouri's DNA. A lot of ball game left, especially the way that they score being down 17.
Pierce met with a double team. They'll run Elvis off the three-point line. He finds two-point range. And cradled inside by Cruz. Tigers really haven't been able to get out and run a lot, have they? It's a team that's averaging 93 a game in their last 6. Cruz,
yeah.
If he gets hot, look out.
Well, you have both he and Grill in the game right now. And you want to talk about stretching the floor for those other guards to attack. A bucket like that from Cruz, Chad, that reminds everybody his ability to get hot from there as well.
Fears tries to counter it. That one off the glass. Sideline break here. Robinson cut off by Fears. Cruz trying to back down Glenn Taylor Jr. now with 15 to shoot. Steps right and swishes one home. He's feeling it.
In bunches. In bunches, Chad. He just hit the 3. Didn't look like he had much right there, but at 6'8", he can rise over the top from that 12, 15-foot area.
Missouri, couple of buckets in a row to chase a 17-point lead to 12. Tough shot there by Taylor Jr. McGee somehow got it, and Godine had it slip between his legs out of bounds. Well, the Tigers getting back in this game using cruise control, Brendan.
Well, this Missouri offense has lots of depth. You cannot key on any one player. 5 quick points from number 35 right here, Cruz. He's been really good the last 8 games.
Third season for Dennis Gates in Columbia, reestablishing the rich tradition of Missouri basketball. NCAA tournament 2 seasons ago. We talked about all the injuries and just freak things that happened, but the SEC Coach of the Year that he was, and they're up to their highest ranking in his tenure with the Tigers. Cleveland State before that, where he did an excellent job, Brendan.
I mean, you can see it at Cleveland State, that his ability to coach, his tremendous ability to create rapport and connectivity among his teams. You know, they go to the NCAA tournament his second year at Cleveland State and NIT the following year, and turning around that program. And you know, right out of the start, in his first year, go to the SEC or go to the NCAA tournament. And 2 years to go, there's a lot of last year, there's a lot of context to it, right?
Yeah.
People see the 0 wins, but the injuries and illnesses, it was a bizarre year. But the way they've bounced back is a testament to him. And I love the trajectory that Mizzou is on. Being an old Big 8, I love seeing it.
And there is Dennis's brother Armand on Porter's staff. They are separated by 3 years, and it was Dennis who got into coaching. Armand followed that. Dennis has kind of patterned himself after one of the all-time greats, Leonard Hamilton, who was with him for 10 years, and then you've had Armand kind of copy what his brother did. He just followed him into coaching.
Well, you can't have a conversation about anything basketball related without Dennis Gates bringing up Coach Ham.
Jalen Moore able to save that for Oklahoma. Remember, Jalen Moore's out there in a little bit of foul trouble. He's got 3. But Oklahoma, with Sam Godwin out, kind of has to risk it and play Jalen Moore. Fears. Tough shot, but a foul call. They will get Boateng, and Fears will shoot a pair.
Well, Boateng, I thought, did a great job keeping him in front, turned him around. It looks like he continued to body up. That, you know, you learn as the more you play of when you can bump, when you can be physical, and when you cannot. That's a situation where he was in great defensive position. That was going to be a tough shot. Just contest and move on.
Fears had only 8 points in the first meeting between these two teams. Kind of went through a series of games where he wasn't quite so good. You mentioned teams really focusing their defensive efforts on him, but he has emerged from that in a big way, and tonight is evidence of that once again.
I mean, he's a great talent. I mean, bottom line, you know, and Dennis Gates brought this up today, and he's absolutely 100% correct. You know, if Oklahoma is, you know, clearly in the tournament picture at this point, you know, nationally there would be a lot more Jeremiah Fears talk, and it was a compliment certainly to Fears. He's like, he's an elite talent. We're worried about him tonight. He wasn't necessarily great. We did a good job against him the first time, and we know that he's going to want to come out with the vengeance, and he has.
And a tough night for Robinson, battling fouls. That tip-in missed as well, as Mitchell nearly volleyed that one home. Here's Glenn Taylor Jr. right at Cruz. Mitchell sends it away, and Grill picks it up. Here's Warren trying to weave his way down. Robinson, a traveling violation. So Robinson has yet to score. He's only played 7 minutes. Just been a tough night for this very talented sophomore. That is 8 turnovers against the Tigers, and the 2 freshmen, or I should say Fears the freshman and Robinson, talking with each other. By the way, Sam Godwin is back over on Oklahoma's bench, but that's the good news. The bad news is he's got ice on that right knee. There you see Godwin, who just had an excellent first half with 12 points, Brendan.
Yeah, I mean, that is not good to see right there. Obviously, we don't want to speculate of the extent of that. He's in a white T-shirt and khaki shorts.
Well, Oklahoma, the good news is they have already scored 1 more point tonight than they did the entire game in Columbia. Been a different story for them, but can they close? As Porter Moser has talked about, the ability to finish games. They've got to find a way to find that. This is Elvis. Warwick staying with him. 10 to shoot. Wiggy. Nothing available.
Now just be solid right here if you're Mizzou.
Goodine goes at Cruz, had to double clutch it.
You know, as a defender, you have to understand the shot clock as well. That's under 10, and that's the second time. We saw it with Fears earlier here in the second half. Cruz has got to back off so that he can protect drive first.
Mitchell puts his head down and finds Cruz, but he couldn't finish it. Cruz is down on the back end of this play, so Oklahoma's got numbers. And a nice job by Grill, because there was an open Sooner in the corner there.
You know, great awareness right here, Chad, by Godine. But you see what I mean? He's 40 feet from the basket. Shot clock's winding down. Godine can put it on the floor, but that's not his bread and butter. Back off, shade him, force him a little bit left, and make him a jump shooter there and be solid. That's a big bucket for Oklahoma to get it back to 16.
Another 2.5 minute scoring drought for Missouri. It's been a rarity for them this season, but it's happened multiple times tonight. Bates staying in front of Fears. And got into no man's land. Just left his feet, couldn't shoot it, wanted to pass it, nothing was home.
So there's been some possessions lately. Remember the three that hit off the window from deep. That one right there. Boateng, remember the one where Fears got in there, got a little deep, and Boateng bailed him out on the jump shot. So what I'm seeing is Fears not letting the game come to him. Now, you're fine if you're up 16, but he's got to make adjustments. Missouri, as much as anybody in the country, can pop an 8-0 run on you like it's nothing.
Good defense by Bryson Godine, fronting the much taller Trent Pierce. Elvis probes the dish to Fears, and Barrett clobbered him. And we're going to have... What did we see down there in the end? My view was obstructed, Brendan. We're going to have a flagrant, I believe it says.
Yeah, same, Chad. We had an official right in front of us in our line of sight.
A non-basketball play there. Let's watch it.
Well, it was immediately called. Here's Barrett. Yeah. No question. When you come down like that, right in front of the official, they'll go look at this. But I mean, that's obviously the right call.
The previous play is under review.
So Pat Adams and Byron Jarrett will put on the headsets and adjudicate that play. Oklahoma up 16 with 12:28 to play, reviewing a T.O. Barrett foul on Jeremiah Fears. The resolution when we return. Didn't take long to get a resolution on this one, Brendan. It's a flagrant one assessed to T.O. Barrett of the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, here it is, Chad. We showed it prior to going to break. Ball fake. Barrett.
After further review, the call on the floor stands. It's a flagrant one foul.
There's Pat Adams right there. But yeah, no play on the ball. Immediately called by the officiating crew, and it actually was, we went to commercial break, but for those watching, it was actually a relatively short review. We don't have a lot of those.
We don't. See, excessive and/or unnecessary, not a legitimate play on the ball. We didn't get a full clarification, but I think you could deem it either one of the first two. So it's 2 free throws for Fears and the ball for the Sooners. Fears an excellent foul shooter, 84%. Oklahoma, and this is something that bears watching, free throw line. Late game, got a lot of fouls, foul trouble both ways. Oklahoma leads the SEC in foul shooting percentage. Missouri has taken the most and made the most in conference play amongst SEC teams. So that stripe right there is going to be a big deal the rest of this one.
Well, I hope you're not insinuating you thought you were going to get out of here at 9 o'clock.
I got no place to be.
I think based on the matchup tonight, we knew that at 7.
Luke Northweather in for Oklahoma. And this inbound's going to go all the way back to the other end.
Yeah. Missouri's just got to get this into the floor solidified. A lot of time, but you're going to get this down to 7-8 minute mark. If you haven't made progress, that makes it a big feat to come back.
Luke Northweather gets an unkind bounce. And the other way with it comes Perkins for the Tigers.
Yeah, where's Mitchell offensively in the half court? Getting his touches and putting that pressure with his versatility. Here he is right here.
Yeah, he was a big factor in the first half. This is Pierce, and his three is good. So Trent Pierce, the sophomore out of Arizona Compass Press, but he's from Prep, but he's from Tulsa originally.
Well, at 6'10", I mean, he can really stretch you out at that 4 or 5 position when he's in there. Again, another example of guys on this team that can make shots.
The ball poked away by Perkins. Elvis goes down. Possession arrow stays on this end on the alternating arrow. Oklahoma's largest lead a moment ago was 18. Porter Moser again, he is having to shuffle the pieces. He got Jalen Moore out for the timeout. Now he's back in. Sam Godwin over there on the bench. He's getting everything sorted through. This is man full court right now for Missouri.
I'm telling you, I mean, whenever they decide or pick it up here, I mean, 2 or 3 stops in a row will absolutely change the momentum and change this game.
Northweather, 1 to shoot. That's the night Oklahoma has had so far. Six made threes for the Sooners.
It can be contagious, can it?
It can. Mitchell, now he's starting to go to work, and this is more what you expected from Dennis Gates' team.
Yeah, and I mean, every possession, you don't get anything if you're Missouri pushing in transition, off makes, misses, whatever. Flatten out the defense, get the ball moving, and make sure Mitchell gets a touch.
Here's Spears trying to feed more, and that ball was kicked. The shot clock will bump back up to 20.
Speaking of stretch 4 type 5s, I mean, this is a step back right there. You know, Northweather was an excellent 3-point shooter in high school, 40%. So it's not something that he developed here at Oklahoma. He's always been able to knock it down from long range.
Yeah, he's made 14 of 44 this year. Certainly acceptable. Moore was in trouble. And now the shot clock is late. Miles, a good crossover, got a little bit of space, but he's stripped. 2 on the shot clock, and it's ripped away. Tigers would love to push it here. Perkins deals to Mitchell, and he flushes one home.
Well, really good play by Perkins because he slowed up on good iron out front. That allowed Mitchell to continue to flow down that left side. And there, right there, points off turnovers for Missouri.
Mitchell's got a dozen, and Fears has got another bucket and another trip to the foul line.
Very smooth, able to get downhill. See that right there. I mean, Mitchell's rotating over right here, and Fears the feel, the pace. Look at that. I mean, avoids him, goes away, high and soft off the window.
9th game of 20+ this season for one of the most talented freshmen in the country. He's averaging 20 a game over his last 4, and he is going to be at that mark tonight. He makes this free throw. Jeremiah Fears, midway through the first half.
You know, we saw him early in the year. The thing that immediately stood out to me was he invited, wanted, sought out contact. And then he would absorb it and use that athleticism. You saw it on that possession right there to still create a shot, get a good look, be able to go up strong yet soft with the basketball, even though he's still a baby compared to most of these grown men out here.
And he is over on the bench with 21 points. That was a tough fall away, kind of awkward by Warwick. And it's going to work out for the Tigers. We'll charge that one to Bryson Goodine, his first. Foul called on the floor. In Missouri, we told you, they got to the line 35 times in the first meeting between these teams. They've been there 13 tonight. Porter Moser's team has defended without fouling. They have not turned it over. Forsyth going to return for the Sooners. And Robinson back in there. See if he can get his night kick started. Foul trouble. He's got 3. And Anthony Robinson has not scored. Pierce fouled by Forsyth.
Boy, coaches do not love when you foul a jump shooter. Now, this is Forsyth doing the correct thing, trying to get there on the catch on Pierce. But that's your job. Be there on the catch. He's going to sneak his hand in right there. No doubter.
And you could see that foot was behind the line, so Dayton Forsyth picking up the foul, and Pierce off the mark.
Yeah, it was interesting talking to Porter Moser about Forsyth earlier today, and he said, you know, we were asking why is he getting acclimated so quickly in this unbelievable league as a freshman, and he said that he learns quickly. So you know, that play reminds me of this. He's going to get put, the basketball gods will put you in that situation again, probably this game. And his ability and intellect, his IQ to make adjustments is really what has allowed him to, you know, play meaningful minutes at this level, even as a freshman.
2 of 3 from the foul line for Trent Pierce. Missouri within 15. Oklahoma has led by as many as 18. No Jalen Moore. He is actually out there. Forsyth will take a 3. No. And Gray wrestles the rebound away from Wegee. Fine for Grill, but that's a tough shot. Doesn't matter to this guy. I mean, that's as high a degree of difficulty as you can have. And Oklahoma takes a timeout here. How do you guard that?
Well, you guard it just like Oklahoma did right there. Make it tough on him. And here's the thing, when you play Caleb Grill, you tell your ball club, hey, look, he is going to make difficult shots. Just accept it, but continue to try to make all of them tough.
So Missouri able to scratch back in. You mentioned Mitchell and the effective first half he had offensively. He had been quiet here to start the second half. They got it to him, and then Grill just buried the 3. That's more like Missouri basketball.
Well, when you play, I mean, obviously we talk about it, and if you watch and you understand that. So multiple guys that can hurt you, but to me it's all predicated by those 2 guys, with the pressure that they put on you defensively. They're at the top of the scouting report. Don't let Caleb Grill get going. In the games which they've won, which is most of them, he's killed people. You know, Mitchell's versatility and able to facilitate offense. So when those 2 touch it, I mean, it raises your tension level. And you look at tonight even, it doesn't seem like they've done much, yet combined they have 25 points on just 13 field goal attempts between the 2. And that's fairly efficient.
Oklahoma, you know, Brendan, they have not been able to close the deal every time that they have played here at home. Had an 18-point lead against Texas A&M, 13 against LSU, and dropped those. Can they finish in a situation where they have to have it?
Well, a lot of it will have to do with that young man with the ball right there, in Jeremiah Fears, and that'll be the game management here the last 9 minutes. His decision making, not trying to do things all at once. Just make simple plays when it's time to make a simple play, and go make an excellent play when that's warranted as well.
Gray sends Moore's shot away. You see what's at stake. First win in Norman since 2012, and best win over an AP ranked opponent for Oklahoma this year.
So if I'm Missouri, here's what I'm thinking. I mean, get this thing under 10 before the next media timeout.
Long inbound pass, and Moore gets undercut on the 4th foul against Anthony Robinson. Just hasn't been able to stay on the floor because of the fouls tonight. Jalen Moore battling that knee soreness. Looks like he's all right. That is 6 fouls against the Tigers. So, in fact, both teams are going to be in the bonus the rest of this one. You see Robinson with 4, nobody else with more than 2 for the Tigers. And then for Oklahoma, Jalen Moore's been playing with 3. Duke Miles has 3 as well. Maybe the most significant thing is Sam Godwin doesn't look like he's coming back into this game for Oklahoma. So they will be without him.
Yeah, and Oklahoma got off to a solid start in the second half, which I think was extremely important for their psyche. And obviously, they knew that Godwin was probably not going to be available here the second half.
Surround Fears, and he threw it away. Picked off by Perkins.
And that looked like the defense that we saw in Columbia. Chad, notice everything's in front. Help, recover. Don't allow angles off the bounce for Oklahoma.
Bates with Wagee in his face said it doesn't matter. And Missouri is right back there. They've cut it to single digits.
That's why they need the stops, Chad. You do not have to worry about Missouri offensively.
Will the Sooners play through it? It's an 8-0 run put on by the Tigers. Ten to shoot. Moore attacks Gray. Wagee rebounds, and he's fouled. So Muhammad Wagee will go to the foul line. Eight made threes for the Tigers. They're starting to feel it recently, Brendan.
Well, they won't go away. They've been here all season long. Little 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Tigers have it under 10.
Oklahoma has led by double digits for about 20 minutes of this game tonight. It's down to single digits. What's allowed Missouri to shave down that once 18-point lead?
Well, it's Chad, I mean, it's really kind of what I've been waiting for from the Tigers. I mean, you know, they do such a terrific job of turning teams over and then pushing in transition, you know, with their spacing and how quick they get into end. But you have to be more of a defensive team than that. And to me, it's just, they've really just been more sound. No matter what they've been in defensively, they just kept things in front. It forces other teams to be jump shooting ball clubs. And now, you know, Oklahoma, well, they probably have 2 paint points over the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you keep it out of there, I mean, eventually things will catch up for you in as an advantage.
The Sooners have cooled, and you can't help but think about Sam Godwin's impact early in this game. Paint points were plentiful when he was in there. He goes down with a knee injury, and you see the shooting's gone from 69% to 35%. Wagee cashes in from the foul line. How does Oklahoma stay composed in this situation? They've been here a few times this year.
Porter Mosley say, okay, you're going to be up 11 with 7:51 left.
Yeah.
I mean, you take that 8 days a week, right? I mean, it's it. They just got to play the right way at both ends. That's it.
Up high to cash in goes Tony Perkins. Just rose up over the top of everyone.
That is so many good pieces. Perkins was a great portal sign for Dennis Gates. Battle tested.
Elvis slips it into Wagee, who scores. Pierce for 3, not this time. Here comes Jalen Moore. Sooners have numbers. Wagee couldn't punch it home, and he'll go to the foul line instead. That lob was just a little too far out in front.
I tell you what, Wagee has shown. You saw it the previous possession, pretty good hands. There was a tight window on the last possession in the lay-in. Caught it, kept his feet, finished. Good job right there. Didn't feel like he could go straight to the rim with it. And that's intelligent. If you're not comfortable, don't try to make something out of nothing. Get to the floor and was able to pull Gray into making a foul.
Mohamed Wagee is going to be really important for Oklahoma the rest of this one with Godwin out. He's got 9 points tonight. He's perfect from the field. He's got 4 rebounds. As you see Sam Godwin sitting over there. We certainly hope that that injury is not too severe. He left in the first half, tangled up on a play underneath and had a player fall on him. Wagee's high point total for the year was 12 against Alcorn State. And he's got 10 now.
Well, he has experience. As you mentioned, Alabama a year ago, knows this league, been to a Final Four. I mean, he gets it.
Mitchell gets run off the 3 line. He knows how to finish as he does there.
Again, heavy dose of that, but defensively, that's what's going to allow you to have a chance if you're the Tigers.
Mitchell's got 14 now.
Yeah, you got the full court pressure here, Chad, and that's. But if you don't turn them over, you don't get anything. Then it's just solid, solid. Keep things in front. One and dones. Clear the glass. Push.
Along the baseline, Godine. He saves it out for Fears. His leaner banks home. So composed. Tigers want to attack quickly. Grill. Not this time. It'll volley out to Robinson. Help defense that time from Wagee. Forced the turnover.
Boy, he has been tremendous at both ends. That was tremendous help. Forced that turnover.
Under 6 to play. Oklahoma up by 13. Elvis trying to back down Grill. Extra pass, Godine, the release. Bryson Godine can't find the range from 3-point land tonight. All of his buckets have come from 2-point range. There's Bates, held and fouled by Elvis. And it's bonus time now for the Tigers. They're in the 1-and-1. That's 2 fouls on Elvis.
Well, right there was an example of what I thought coming in tonight would be an advantage for Missouri. A physical edge out on the perimeter. I mean, Elvis did a great job of trying to stay strong. And I know the Oklahoma crowd didn't like that foul, but Bates just kept coming up. He had the angle. They got the 3rd bump, forced the officials to have to call that foul. Got no problem with that.
Run into 1-and-1, good for Bates. He is one of the best foul shooters in Missouri history. Shot nearly 93% last year, which was a Missouri record, and he's shooting 94% this year. Make you think of John Sunvold, right?
That'd be hard to beat Sonny, John Sunvold, but his consistent production. And the reason his percentages are so high, obviously his ability, but decision making. You know, shot selection plays into all of that as well.
So the main free throw allows the Tigers to set up this full court pressure. And Taylor Jr. is in for the Sooners now. They get Wagee a little breather. Oklahoma goes smaller with its lineup. Into the hands of Fears with 10 to shoot. Got Mitchell locked up on him now. Shot clock is at 5. Fears, no, with the left hand, and there's Grill.
Good defense right there. Good half-court defense.
Under 5 left. Grill.
Wow.
Rinses another. Yeah. And a timeout taken. Unlimited range for Caleb Grill. You got to guard him when he comes down the tunnel. And it's the Tigers who take this timeout. They have cut the Oklahoma lead now down to 8 with under 5 left.
Look how effortless this is. Here's the handoff. Boy, and Taylor doesn't get up. They're going to switch that. You have to be up the floor. Gets it off so quick. I mean, and that was pure. You know, when he let it go, I'm gonna be honest. One of the thoughts I had was, is he tired? He's obviously plays heavy minutes. He's definitely played heavier minutes here the second half because of the circumstances of being down. But that's a veteran, because, you know, I always thought if you got tired late in games, you almost had to as a shooter, whether at the foul line or taking a three from distance, you had to over-exaggerate your mechanics. You know, better legs, better follow-through. And that's exactly what he did right there. That is huge from Britt.
With their leading scorer coming off the bench, no surprise, multiple times they'll have the advantage in bench points, but 38 points off the bench for Dennis Gates and the Tigers. They've needed it with some of the foul trouble and guys who just haven't been as involved, but it's a deep team. They played 14 guys in this game.
So Missouri right here, I mean, obviously picking up full court. If Oklahoma breaks the pressure, you're going to chew time. We talk so much, Chad, about patience offensively, right? But there's also patience defensively. Plenty of possessions left in a 4:51 game. You got it back to 8. Just be sound in whatever you're doing on this end, this possession.
And Perkins called for reaching in on Elvis, and Oklahoma is in the bonus. So Kobe Elvis will shoot. That is 3 fouls on Perkins. Well, Oklahoma, the top free throw shooting team in the SEC, nearly 80% as a club. Kobe Elvis is 70%.
He'll be shooting 1 and 1.
He had a stretch of 37 consecutive makes. Spent 3 years at Dayton and went to the NCAA tournament there last season. Before that, he was at DePaul. Knocks down the front end of the 1-and-1.
That's one of the things going into the quarter that Porter Moser did. He wanted to identify guys, you know, number one, with character, but that have had success, postseason success, been on good teams.
Glenn Taylor Jr., one of those guys. And Bryson Godine, another that's been to the NCAA tournament. Elvis got both. 10-point game. Oklahoma just getting it done from the free throw line tonight. I mean, right now for them, you could say it's the difference maker. They are perfect from the line. 11 of 11 in this half.
Let's see what the veteran right here in Perkins gets his ball club here in the half court.
Brill. Godine runs through him almost. He gets the retrieval and another shot up. Wagee trying to save it. It's batted out of bounds, they say, by Perkins.
We get a foul there.
Or did we just get out of bounds? I think you do have a foul. They're headed to the other end to shoot him. That's 4 on Perkins. And it's double bonus time for Oklahoma with 4.5 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, right there. Right, yeah. Well, no, Perkins was fine, but you see him extend both hands. You know, when you get the when you do that, you know, physical play, obviously that's the season. But as soon as he extended both arms, that's what got him in trouble.
And Perkins is out with 4 fouls. Anthony Robinson, who also has 4, is back in. Fairly quiet night for Duke Miles. And he gets 1 of 2. I think Missouri will take that. That is the first missed free throw for Oklahoma tonight. They're 17 of 18. Brill, Godine all over him on the catch. Mitchell runs through Wagee, and a blocking foul on Mohamed Wagee. That's his 3rd.
So to me, this is a really good offensive possession, and all it is you have Brill on ball side with Mitchell. So you have to allow Mitchell to be isolated down there if you're Oklahoma.
The reaction you heard is the replay on that play at the Lloyd Noble Center. It harkens back to Coach Billy Tubbs grabbing the mic in 1989, although we're not there yet, I don't think. Those great rivalries between Billy Tubbs and Norm Stewart when you had top-ranked teams, and this place was full.
Oh, my gosh, the old Big 8.
So this is the 6th different conference in which these two teams have played each other. Mitchell been money at the line tonight. The Tigers, they traded 1 free throw on one end for 2 on the other.
Yeah, and the other thing, obviously, free throws do with your Missouri. I mean, points on the board, and then allows you, that second one goes to set up this full court pressure.
Into the hands of Jalen Moore. Fears hedged way out front. Spins away from traffic. Fouled. They would not have counted the shot, and Fears will shoot a pair. The freshman trying to bring it home and get the Sooners potentially their biggest win of the year, leading by 9. Late game situation, Oklahoma looking for a 7th quad 1 win this season, a must-have game for NCAA tournament hopes. They were listed as one of the first 4 out by Joe Lunardi in bracketology today, and they have played like it on their senior night. Led by as many as 18, Missouri has closed it to single digits multiple times, including right now with 3:45 to play. Porter Moser's team trying to bring it home, and Jeremiah Fears tonight, Brendan, 24 points, 8 of 12 from the field. Perfect at the foul line to go along with 4 assists. You could not ask much more from this talented freshman, but the Sooners are going to have to ask more from him if they're going to close out this very good Missouri team.
Well, he's been terrific tonight. I mean, he's really been terrific all season long. And as you mentioned, middle of the SEC play, maybe a little 3-game stretch where he wasn't as good, but I think that's, you know, compliment to him, because we come to expect so much out of him. He's so young, but he plays so old. Case in point, that last possession, if you look at his numbers right there, late in the shot clock, multiple defenders on him with size. He's able to drive to contact. So many great things happen there, right? I mean, you chew off 24 seconds. Draw a foul, you get to the line, so points on the board. He did everything masterfully right there. And as he has 1 turnover tonight. That may be the best stat of them all.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma just has those 7 as a team.
Jeremiah Fears and Cooper Flagg, the sensational Duke freshman. Only freshman averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. 25 now for Fears, and a 10-point margin for the Sooners. Fans coming to their feet at the Lloyd Noble Center as Perkins goes to work. That ball was kicked as he tried to find Caleb Grill on the backdoor cut.
Yeah, nice job of Bryson Goodine not taking the bait right there. Obviously, you extend out on Grill on the perimeter. That was a play where Mizzou had everything overloaded on that left side, trying to see if they could sneak one on the back door to Grill.
That's going to be a foul as Warwick was trying to accept that inbound pass, and that'll be number 4 against Duke Miles. 1-1 still for the Tigers. Missouri trying to rally and win one. We talked about that 1989 year when Billy Tubbs did take the microphone here at the Lloyd Noble Center and address the crowd as only he could. And some of those great meetings, you just think about where these teams were ranked. That was number 5 versus number 7. They played later. Missouri beat Oklahoma twice that year. Beat them in Columbia and in Kansas City. And in all 3 games, both teams were ranked in the top 10. That's what this was back then. And there's Billy Tubbs, the late legendary Sooner coach, and he and Norm Stewart. Norm Stewart just a classic and battled cancer and Man, what a rivalry it was back there.
Ran into Joe Castiglione, Oklahoma athletic director, before the game, and he had exchanged, or had actually talked to Coach Stewart. 90 years young and still doing great.
Muhammad Wagee scores for the Sooners.
Well, great job of Oklahoma right there. Breaking the pressure. The numbers were there. Good decision to attack.
Grill, can he find another one? Not this time. Into the arms of Jalen Moore. Muhammad Wagee, 12 points. What a factor he's been.
A good decision by Moore. You don't need that right there. More important to get off another 10, 12 seconds.
Here's circles. Off the three-point line goes Elvis. Goodine gets a decent look, but it's well off the mark. Mitchell trapped under the bucket. A good cut by Warwick, though, and he gets an easy conversion. And a timeout taken by Dennis Gates and the Tigers. Back within 10 with 2.5 left. So Missouri, once down to 18, been able to hang in it. Oklahoma has shot 56% from the field tonight. That's a far cry from 31% that they shot in the first meeting between these teams. But the composure of Dennis Gates over there in that huddle, always calm, delivering the message. You still got a chance to win and pick up what would be a quad one win for them on the road.
Well, he's a man of consistency. I mean, demeanor. Most of the time, you don't know if Missouri's up 20, down 20, what the situation is. And it's partly his personality, but also he understands that a team's persona, how they handle adverse situations, are a direct line coming from your head coach. And he is a terrific composure. 10-point game. Certainly not insurmountable. And if you're Oklahoma, this Missouri pressure, you cannot be careless handling the full court pressure. To me, at this point, it's all about taking care of the basketball. If you're Oklahoma, you want to get out of here with a win tonight here at home.
And maybe that's been front and center more than anything for Porter Moser's team tonight against the team that turns teams over better than anyone in the SEC. They've turned it only 7 times in this game. They have navigated Missouri's pressure for the most part. This is Elvis. Warwick stays in front of him. Goodine with 2 to shoot. Stepped out of bounds. Only the 8th turnover against the Sooners, but Missouri gets the stop they desperately needed.
Dennis Gates right here gets Cruz in for Pierce.
Oklahoma's led for 35 minutes plus tonight. Can they seal the deal? All the way down goes Robinson. Corner 3, Warwick is well off the mark. So off the mark that it lands in Robinson's hands. That's his first basket of the night. 8-point game as Moore breaks the pressure. Goodine. It stays here with the Sooners, though. Spears helps him get a reset. Jalen Moore open under the bucket. Punches one home.
Well, that's such a good find. Pressure 48 feet from the basket. Doesn't panic. Great vision.
Look at Warwick just climbing to the rim that time. The answer comes from the Tigers. That Jeremiah Fears now 5 assists, none bigger than that one he just made a moment ago.
And Oklahoma fortunate on that last possession. Goodine's terrific, but you don't want him taking those right there.
Well, unless he can do that, right?
I guess so. But that better go down because you don't really need it.
That's his first made 3 on 5 tries tonight. Jalen Moore secures his 6th rebound. And Oklahoma can feel maybe their biggest win of the year. Fears to the rim and in. Maybe the icing on the cake. Jeremiah Fears, 28 tonight.
And here's the one from Godin. Because I said don't take it. I mean, this is superior. Good thing that went down. Little smile from Godin. That gets it to 11. And then Fears feels it right here. Able to turn the corner on Brill. And right there, probably a dagger.
29 for Jeremiah Fears. We mentioned the 4-point play at the end of the Michigan game. That gave him his career high of 30. 29 for Jeremiah Fears tonight. Here's Cruz. Jalen Moore on the pogo stick to claim that one. Mitchell plucks it away, though. And Mitchell will get the easy finish. Tigers had a timeout left, not electing to use it. No difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And that'll be a foul on Pierce. Oklahoma desperate for a win, Brendan, and simply put, they have played like it tonight. Putting the finishing touches on their 7th quad 1 win of the year. And a bold statement to start the final week of the regular season for Porter Moser's team.
This isn't necessarily how Porter Moser approached tonight, or even the last, let's say, week or so. But to me, this is like survive in advance. I mean, if you don't get this one tonight, you're probably not getting in. Even if they go and win at Texas at 5-13, it would be tough to go into Selection Sunday and feel very good at all about that. But this changes things big time. You beat a excellent Missouri team here at home. Looked pretty good doing it. Played much better than you did in the first meeting. You got up off the mat after a couple really disheartening losses to Kentucky and Ole Miss. And you kept your NCAA tournament hopes very much alive as you head into Austin on Saturday.
This is the Oklahoma team that has been on display many times, especially late in the season. They just have not gotten the results that they're going to get tonight. But a win at the most important time of the year for Porter Moser's team, and on senior night.
I thought tonight's game was a little bit, felt like, you know, which offense can be better. I think, you know, you look at Oklahoma. My point is they can really score. They're coming in today. They were 29th nationally in KenPom in offensive efficiency. But they're 9th in the SEC, which blows my mind. But if you get into brother-in-law ball with Oklahoma, if you're Missouri, where you don't tighten up like you're capable and have shown defensively, you know, Oklahoma, too, can take advantage of that. And they were great tonight on that end.
Fears has a career high, 31. Oklahoma's gotten Jake Moser into the game on his senior night, and I think he's going to be called for the foul right there. Oh, the fans giving the referees the business about that one.
A smile from his father over there. That's a way to get a number on the stat sheet.
So Oklahoma going to go to 5-12 in SEC play. They'll be on the road at Texas on Saturday to close the regular season. Texas got a huge road win in overtime last night. Obviously, another quad 1 opportunity for Oklahoma. You would foresee another one in the opening round of the SEC championship. And, you know, we could talk all about it. It depends so much on other conference tournaments and teams that expect to win but get knocked out early on and all those sorts of things. But the most important thing is a step in the right direction for this Oklahoma team when they had to have it.
Yeah, and it's amazing what, you know, a win does, especially in this league. And in terms of Missouri, I mean, they're going to be just fine. I mean, what makes this league so special, particularly this year, is there's literally no bottom. And so, especially when you're going to go on the road, you're going to get everybody's best effort, especially with what Missouri has done this year, the reputation that they certainly have. You see Oklahoma's resume there, Chadwick.
team out coming into the night by Joe Lenardi. Don't know if this will make them one of the last 4 in. It's a day-to-day proposition, but these were the wins.
Yeah.
Arizona, and you add Louisville to that in the Bahamas. Michigan at the jump man. Michigan's projected as a number 2 seed. And then Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, this will be their 5th ranked win. Jeremiah Fears. What a night he has had. 31 points. He's perfect at the foul line. 12 for 12. And he's going to be able to dribble the clock out on this one. And Oklahoma picks up a had-to-have victory over Missouri at the Lloyd Noble Center on senior night. It is the highest ranked opponent they have beaten this year. Missouri coming in at number 15. A 12-point win after losing by 24 to this very same team in Columbia, Brendan. How did Porter Moser and the Sooners turn the tables?
It was a little George Costanza, the opposite, right, from 3 weeks ago. We talked about it from the onset. To beat Missouri here tonight, they'd have to take care of it, which they did in a great way. Oklahoma only turns it over 9 times. You have to limit the 3-point shot to Missouri, which they allowed 9, but they became a volume 3-point shooting team. Missouri did 9 of 31 for 29%. But just as impressive as the ball security for Oklahoma to me, Chad, was what they did at the foul line against a team that was number 2 in the country in free throw makes per game. And they outscored Mizzou +6 in free throw makes. And so, you know, there's your formula when you play the Tigers. Limit threes, take care of the ball, compete with them at the foul line.